Hello, and welcome to the weekly update for the Dragon's Tavern. I'm recording this on 7-8 for the week 4 update of 7-10, so if anything comes up between the 8th and the 10th, we will get it into the next week's video. This week we had 12 commits from 2 different contributors, which brings our total commits to 100, nice and pretty even number there, from 7 total contributors, and we are through week 4 of 12. This week, Ian went through and added a scrollable view in the hub area to hold the deck of cards, and then I went through and did some code rework on the individual card levels so it's not affecting the rook card. So that means now monsters can attack each other in both attack and defense position. The UI will update after you do an encounter on the base card, not on the rook card. And if the card hits 0 attack while they're in attack position or 0 defense when they're in defense position, then you'll remove them from play. And then I had several variables like an attack offset, a defense offset, a total attack. So I combined all of those variables into just one variable for attack and then one for defense. And then we also added 3 art cards, and then we got a build up and working on itch. So here's a look at some of the cards that were added this week. We have the Anxious Bomb Diffuser, he's just kind of sitting there, very anxious as the bomb's lit. We have Ancestral Lore with some runes on the wall. And then we have Charismatic Speech with a politician-esque type of person giving a speech. I am stealing quite a few of the assets from the Mysteries of Clark's Magic Academy. I didn't know if people could notice that. So let's pop on over to the demo here. So first I wanted to look at the scrollable view that we have in the hub area. So we'll hit play, and then we're in the scrollable view area here. Nope, maybe. I know it's working on the actual build, but you should be able to scroll back and forth, and you can hover over the card. Let me see if I can do that real quick here. This is the itch build, the Dragon's Tavern up there, so we can do play. There we go. So we have the scrollable view on the cards. We can hover over them, and it will pull up the cards off to the left over there, so that way you can start to structure your deck. So that's a very nice work in progress. Thank you, Ian, for that. So now let's jump into the game aspect of it so we can see how combat is working, since that was the main element of this week. So we're still able to draw our cards. We'll put a couple cards onto the table here. End our turn. And if you right click, you can set them to defense position, and then after that their turn has essentially ended. So we'll end our attack phase there. AI is drawing. AI is placing 2 cards in attack position. So now it's our turn. We're going to draw a card. We can still play this card. And now on the next turn I can flip this back to attack position. And let's see. That card has 2 attack, and it's an attack position. So we should be able to attack it with our 2 attack card here, and both cards should go off of the field. So once we do that, both of them go away. So now let's look at the squonk here. We have an attack of 2 against this attack of 1, and their life points are over here at 10. So if we attack this 2 minus 1, all of the leftover attack should deduct into their health. So 2 minus 1 goes to 9. There we go. So that's sort of how the loop of combat is working. And then if they place a card in defense position, you don't lose any health points in that aspect of it. And let's see here. That one has an attack of 4. So we should be able to attack with our 2 card against this 4, and our health should go from 10 down to 8. There we go. 10 down to 8. So we have the full combat loop going, at least from the player side, which is a pretty good transition into our Trello board for next week. So next week we're going to work on the opponent's side where they can attack and defend, and we're ideally aiming to have some readability on the opponent's side. So right now they have their cards in their hand and they can just randomly play them how they would like. So it'd be nice to elevate that level of AI a little bit. So if anybody would like to help out with that, that would be amazing. We also want to create card sets 3 and 4. That's not the art for it, that's just creating the functionality in the game for it. So if we pull up the cards list, any of those are full game, or if you want to make your own, we can do that as well. And then we also have the card 3 and 4 functionality, which should be pretty simple, as I knock on wood, now that the base combat is taken care of. And we also do want to do some animations for the player playing it onto the table, it animating over to the graveyard, and then animating some battle elements where like you move certain cards to certain areas, as well as moving them to the graveyard, but the programming side as well. So that is our weekly update for the Dragon's Tavern. We have lots to work on. We have some music coming up in the near future, as well as more art if anybody would like to be involved. Thanks, everybody.